James Holder for from London. I'm in the Sky Sports studio today in O2 Arena. I bumped into Glenn McCRORY, ex-fighter, now Sky Sports pundit. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, yeah. Looking forward to a very, very exciting weekend.
Was it quite surprising to see me and Coogan mooching about the Sky Studios today?
It is never surprising to see Coogan anywhere. He turns up in the most unbelievable places.
It's like water, isn't it?
Yeah, worse than water, mate.
Massive fight week. Carl Froch, KESSLER. The anticipation, the high energy levels is now coming. Talk to me a little bit about that.
I think this is the fight. This is the fight of the year that I've been waiting for. I think Carl Froch, KESSLER is the sort of perfect fight. You know, I'm a fighting man, and you know, I like my fights tough. You know, you keep your Mayweathers as far as I'm concerned. I'd rather see KESSLER and Froch any day of the week, you know, because they're the guys that will give everything. You know, they're in there not to steal a decision. They're in there to win and prove who's the best man. And that's what we're going to get this weekend. We're going to get a tremendous fight between two true warriors, you know, two real fighting men. And I think that's what's exciting.
Do you think this could be a defining moment for Carl Froch in his career in terms of looking back on what he's done so far?
I think there's been several defining moments for Carl Froch. I don't think, you know, he's ever got anything to worry about. You know, when he looks back, when he's wearing his slippers, I think, you know, he's well and truly performed well for himself and for the country. And I think, you know, his legacy is already there. Obviously, he'd want to beat Andre Ward, but, you know, this is the other bit of unfinished business. Andre Ward is for another day, if that ever happens. But KESSLER's someone that's beat him, someone that Carl, I think, thinks he's better than. So there's unfinished business, and he wants to prove that he's the best of the two. And I think we'll find that out on Saturday.
There was a rumour that the George Groves press conference was moved, not on the main bill, because of a feud between Carl and George. Do you think that's kind of simmering for the fight for them two to fight? At
this moment, I think George is a fair way beneath Carl Froch, and I think any comparisons are not just at this moment. Carl Froch has proved himself as a true warrior, as a great champion, and George Groves is untested yet, you know, and needs all that to do. And I hope for one that he does it. You know, I'm looking for a good future, but you know, they're on different levels at this point. So for me, there's no comparison.
George Groves fighting against Noe Gonzalez, Alcoba, excuse me. Not really much of a test. Not really on paper. He looks good, but British people don't really kind of know who this guy is, do they?
No, they don't. There's other tests out there for him, but he's got to fight who's in front of him. And I think this guy comes with Alcoba comes with a good record and comes as a good puncher. And you know, he's Argentinian, or lives in Argentina, boxes Uruguayan. So he's tough. His record is pretty good at a certain level. When he's stepped up, you know, against the very top, he's come unstuck. But as I said, George Groves is not the very top yet, so he's got a lot of learning to do, and this is the sort of fight he should be in. And I think this will be a very, very good fight, and George has got it all to prove.
With that fight being chief support, we've also got the small matter of Isaac Chilemba versus Tony Bellew, the rematch. Looks like, again, it's heating up for an absolutely classic affair, isn't it?
Well, it's heating up. I'm just hoping that Tony keeps something in the tank and doesn't exert all of his energy in the press conference, all of his energy in the weigh-in, all of his energy in the build-up, and just bottles it up. And I know Tony. I was with him for a week just a few weeks ago. He was training very, very hard. I had a few words with him to tell him that, to say, you know, so I'm hoping he's maybe took a bit of advice, because I think Tony Bellew has what it takes to be a world champion. Certainly trains like a world champion, and I think he just needs to put his personality straight, you know, just to realize that he's got to leave the work, leave the energy, leave the fighting to in the ring.
He's a very passionate man, isn't he?
Yeah, he is passionate, and that passion is what we love about him. You know, he's a great character, but I think the energy, the hurt, he's got to leave inside him, because that's what we fight off. And he uses far too much of that. But I'm looking forward to a good win. I think Tony will get a stoppage in this fight. I think Chilemba felt his power in the late rounds on the last fight, and I think he was quite happy to come out of it, fortunate to get a draw. I think it's unfinished business here, and I think Tony Bellew will finish the business in style.
Last thing I want to touch on is the comeback of A-Force, Mr. Audley Harrison. It's announced that he will fight again. What's your thoughts on that, Glenn?
It's not, you know, I like Audley, he's a nice guy, but to be honest, I think that, you know, he's in danger of ruining any sort of credibility that he had from winning the Olympic Games and from being a European heavyweight champion. And, you know, he's been knocked out very early several times, and, you know, it's how early can Audley get knocked out? You know, can we set a record for getting knocked out in the first round? You know, I think it's something he's got to think. He's got a child, he's got or 2 children, and he's got a wife. I think, you know, there's a point where he's got to look at that and realize that there's more in life, more precious than your ego or, you know, a career.
Do you empathise with Audley? When you hung up the gloves, did you for a little while kind of not know what to do with yourself in terms of you've dedicated so long to your life, living the lifestyle, training every day, going to the gym, getting into fight mode? Do you think you empathise with what he's going through?
I think any fighter would empathise with that. You know, this is something we do as a kid. It's something we love. It's something we grow up doing. It is who we are. You know, you never ever stop being a fighter. It's in your makeup. So till the day you die, you'll always be a fighter. And I think, you know, obviously the competition you can't do forever. And there's a point comes when you have to realize that you're good looking enough and more and special enough and say enough to in television.
If anyone, Mr. Audley Harrison could definitely have a career in television or as a motivational speaker, 100%.
Yeah, you know, listen, Audley did a lot with his life. You know, he's somebody kids could look up to. He's, you know, but he's in danger of spoiling that. And I think, you know, as a point comes where you become the butt of jokes, and he's better than that. He doesn't deserve that. So I think the people around him, for his own safety and for, you know, and for his honor and for his celebrity, ought to stop him from boxing.
I don't know who's advising him. Obviously, after the prize fight, he was on a great impetus of victory. He's on a high. It would have been a great time for him to go out then. I thought him fighting Deontay Wilder was a silly move. So in my opinion, whoever's advising him wasn't a great.
It was. You know, he has. I mean, every fighter wants to be a world champion, and that's your dream. And I think, you know, had I not won the world title, I might be still fighting now. You know, because, you know, that's what it's like. You know, if you have a dream, you want to follow that dream to the very end. So, you know, sometimes there's a point where your family and the people that love you save you from yourself.
Yeah, I think every fighter needs to be sometimes saved from themselves. That's a very valid point, Glenn.
Yeah, you know, I think it is, and I think Audley's a case in point. But whatever he does, you know, I still wish him luck. He's a heck of a nice guy.
I agree with that. A-Force, we wish you the best of luck, sir. Well, Glenn, I'm going to wrap this up, mate. I appreciate you talking to us from London. We look forward to seeing you fight week, and yeah, thanks for giving us a bit of time.
Yeah, looking forward to a great fight. Thanks a lot.
James Holder with Glenn McCRORY for iFilm London.
I